Hi guys, I am your Marquis Santo. My topic today is all about the characteristic of materials to be cited. Characteristic of materials to be cited. Having recalled the definition of literature, its purpose and sources, it is important to us to learn how to distinguish a good literature to be cited or included in the review. Calderon and Gonzalez 2014 identified the following characteristic of ideal materials to be cited. First is recency. Recency. The materials that should be included in the review should be recent as much as possible. For general references, published materials 10 years ago are yet sound and valid. Meanwhile, primary, secondary, and tertiary references within the last 5 years are ideal. Archived materials may also be used as reference for theories and concepts. What is the meaning of recency? The fact of being recent or of having occurred a relatively short time ago, closeness of a past event to a later past time, or to the present. The general reverseness during that period was mostly due to the recency of the great stock market crash. What is the recency of the research paper? The recency effect is a cognitive bias in which those items, ideas, or arguments that came last are remembered more clearly than those came first. What is recency and primary effect? The primary or recency effect is the observation that information presented at the beginning, primacy, and the end, recency, of a learning episode tends to be retained better than information presented in the middle. What is the difference between primary and recency? For primary, early items were acquired and retained, and later, items were never acquired. For recency, all items were acquired but only the most recent items were retained. Second is the objectivity. Objectivity. Since research is academic and scholarly, the material should be fair, objective, and bias-free. It should not favor an extreme and obvious vested interest aside from delivering facts, information, and findings. Objectivity. An approach in which attitude of an investigator is detached, unprejudiced, value-free, and free from biases. It focuses upon a goal or object and avoids distraction. Objectivity means that conclusions arrived at as a result of inquiry and investigation are independent of the race, color, occupation, religion, moral preference, and political predisposition of the investigator. Hence, objectivity presupposes value neutrality and predictability about outcome. Factors affecting objectivity. First is personal prejudices and biases. Second is a value judgment. Third is ethical dilemma. And fourth is complexity of social subjectivity. Subjectivity is a judgment based on individual personal impressions and feelings and opinions rather than external facts. This can be considered mind dependent because one is not using fact. They are using their personal opinion, proof that the reality is mind independent. For example, if your favorite color is blue, then you are more likely to buy a blue sweater versus a purple sweater. Between the two, objectivity is the perception or experience of the external. Subjectivity is the perception or experience of the internal. Subjectivity and objectivity are both necessary pathways to knowledge and are dependent on each other. So here are some example like high degree of objectivity while lack of objectivity and subject test, more reliability and objective test, while subjectivity test is lesser reliability. Third is relevance. Relevance. The weight of relevance of the material to the current research undertaking must be checked. Before setting it, it should bear essential information to clarify and deepen the issues and concept of the research being conducted. Otherwise, the materials should not be considered for the review. What is the relevance of the research paper? Relevance considers the importance of the information for your research needs. A relevant information source answers your research questions. To determine relevance, the purpose and bias must be understood. In fact, all aspects of evolution must be taken into consideration to determine relevance. How they explain the relevance of the topic. Relevance is the concept of one topic being connected to another topic in a way that makes it useful to consider the second topic when considering the first. The concept of relevance is studied in many different fields, including cognitive science, logic, and library and information science. So we are now in the last part, which is the conciseness. Conciseness. The materials that the review should have must be sufficient enough, not too few and not too many, to provide the researcher and the readers strong insight about the general and specific problems that the researcher is trying to address or answer. The number of related. What is conciseness? Conciseness means to write the paper with a strong and few words. Good writing needs better selection of vocabulary and words, and this comes from reading books and articles, etc. Strategies of adopting conciseness. The writer can adopt conciseness by developing a proper introduction and outline for the article because these two tactics can shorten the length. Elimination of the irrelevant material is very important, and this course of action could be achieved by reading the whole document very critically. It is easy for the writers to add graphics while writing in the paper because this can describe the concept, fact in the shortest way, revising a key to conciseness. While writing, the writer should use to avoid the following: passive voice, repetition of words, infinitive phrase. Concise writing helps the audience to hold the needed information more easily.